So is this what you guys do? You just sit there and watch video games and type in the chat and stuff? It's literally just a video, except it's Zoom without. It's like one-way Zoom. So, oh my God, MSU one. Hey, real quick, I don't know if you saw my email. Apparently, I didn't clear it up. I thought I cleared it up. Everyone's just taking the test tomorrow or Tuesday. So, trying to split thing, but then we're all coming back on the 15th, so it's not worth it in terms of trying to make the days work. I did see your early chats. Yes, I did. I forgot who was up there first, but yep. Apparently, while you're waiting, I can see all the types. Okay, come on, let's go. Review. Not worried about that, you guys. Come on. Time is limited. Come on, review questions. The arsenal of democracy and significance of and feel free to answer in the chat too. If you guys know it, I think that's one of the benefits of this. It's just that we were able to produce a lot of stuff. So unlike in contrast to World War I, so probably not so significant right now, but I mean at that for this era. But when you look across time, World War I was a mess. World War II was much better. Even though the government organization part in terms of purchasing wasn't that much better, we were just able to make a lot of stuff. Who's okay? Yeah. So generally reviews again. It's anything you can Google. You should have Googled. So if you need like explanation, like I don't know what this means or whatever, that's cool. So Father Cochlin was the radio priest guy, the anti-Semitic guy in Royal Oak, Michigan, broadcast from the Shrine of the Little Flower. Didn't like Roosevelt's changes to the banking and currency laws. Thought he was part of this international plot to take over. No, you guys don't need it on social media. Come on, really. It's just the only reason I'm doing this is because I know some people can't make it. It makes it easier to view it because Zoom doesn't upload so easy. The Daws Plan, the Daws Plan is just it's America loaning money to Germany. So our way of trying to stay out is keep Germany from collapsing. We loan money to Germany. They use to pay back Britain and France, but then use to pay back us. Yeah, the broker state. The broker state again is the American government's job is to help elevate the different constituencies, the different groups. Think about farmers, unions, African Americans, and to empower them. And then to kind of, empower them so they can lobby, ask for their own rights. Okay, as opposed to like we're all this one big happy family, acknowledging we're a nation of interest. Oh, Shalish Patel, you and Ignati's class? 459 policies? Okay. Nobody typed anything in the chat yet, so I don't get too far down. Someone tell me what the four powers everyone's equal in the Pacific. 5 powers the ratio of ship tonnage, and 9 power the 9 power treaty is everyone is treated equal in China. Okay. And I give my class a little mnemonic device to remember that. Appeasement is when like Hitler took over Czechoslovakia. We let him take more of the European powers. They let him take it over and made him promise that that was the last thing he was going to do. And of course he said, yes, of course. And then he did it. So it's that whole you give a mouse a cookie thing. So he's going to want more. And so we learned our lesson. So from then on out, you never appease dictators because they won't be appeased. Thank you, Sanjana, for the Father Cochlin answer. Hoover's approach to the Depression. The Hoover's approach, remember, he thought it would get better by itself. Okay, because every panic up until that time had gotten better by itself. 2, he would get better by itself. Let's see what else. We need to be optimistic until then. And so whose responsibility was it to help deal with the suffering and provide relief? State governments, private charities, not the job of the federal government, okay? Not the job of the federal government to give out aid, because if you give people aid, then they'll become lazy and dependent. erode their fighting spirit. Also, the government can't spend money it doesn't have. Okay, so all those are kind of Hoover's approach. When he finally did change, remember he did the AMA, the Agricultural Marketing Act, provided money to feed animals, not people, and the RFC, Reconstruction Finance Corporation, provided loans to businesses so they wouldn't collapse. But again, it is providing loans to businesses, not to people who are starving. And so, on some level, economic level, it makes sense, but it is a bad optics. Okay. Roosevelt's executive orders, he had two of them, well, two major ones. Executive Order 8802, which desegregated defense plans, 9066, which was Japanese department. Okay, Ishan, I just answered the Reconstruction Finance Corporation. Hope you're looking. So, John, with the answer. John, I should cut you in on this. Yara, Section 7A was part of the NRA that helped unions organize. No, Zoe, Black Cabinet was informal advisors. Okay, kind of like Jackson's Kitchen Cabinet were informal advisors. I mean, his friends from back home. Yeah, because good job, Jack, with the Section 7A and Wagner Act. Yeah, because remember when the NRA got struck down, 7A went down with it. I think you guys just came here to answer questions, not ask them. Okay, other questions you have? I think I've reached the end. Okay, Mr.'s question. FDIC's bank insurance, it's still around today. So when you put your money in the bank, you can be pretty sure that you will get it back because it's guaranteed by the government. Okay, up to $250,000. Glass-Steagall Act, FDIC was part of Glass-Steagall. The other part of Glass-Steagall was separating commercial banking, the bank's business, and trying to make money with household banking, like when they take in your money. Okay, Sindana's question, Schechter Poultry versus U.S. That's the one that struck down the NRA. So the Schechter Poultry was a chicken processing company in New York. They didn't sell any chickens outside New York, so therefore they said they should not be, they should not have to follow the NRA rules because they're not interstate commerce. Okay. SEC, Ishan, is to regulate the stock market, public companies. No, Josiah. FDIC is a bank insurance. Fair Labor Standards Act sets minimum wage and work week. Come on, Kellogg-Briand Pact, they outlaw. That's the best thing, man. They outlaw war, right? It's as a foreign policy tool. It's like, hey, why don't we just make it illegal? Then nobody will do it, right? Instead of that, they're going to eat Kellogg-Briand, not brains. Yep. Broker state. We have broker state already. Someone type in broker state. You're the war. I don't think I would know. Probably beginning, midpoint, and end. Yeah, if it's in the terms, it's fair game. How about that? Jack's question: cash and carry. Cash and carry is just part of the Neutrality Act. We're trying to avoid what got us into World War I. And so you have to pay for everything cash, no more credit, because that's part of how we got into trouble, right? We gave Britain credit, and then we needed Britain to win the war, so we get our credit, so we get our money. Carry is you take it back yourself. I'm trying to think, like, instead of getting something delivered to you, if like Amazon was cash and carry, you had to pay in cash and you had to go get it yourself, as opposed to them delivering it. Okay. Okay, 222, Battle of Midway. Yep. Why did the Daws Plan not work? Because it didn't do anything to alleviate Germany's economic problems. They just used the money to pay back the reparations. I think that's the short of it. And They print up a lot of money. You guys got way too much time on your hands. Okay, some of you. Okay, what else? Good neighbor policy is just, again, this is part of our pivot, not to get involved with the rest of the world. I mean, we're involved enough for it so that we can say we're not involved. But good neighbor policy, again, I think it's the Clark Memorandum where we renounced the Roosevelt corollary. So remember all the interventions that we used to do during imperialism, like early 1900s. We say we're not going to do that anymore. Practice SAQ, I could. The Zoot Suit riots caused, or the Zoot Suits, there were sailors that were on shore leave that were angry at the Mexican Americans for wearing the Zoot Suit. Everyone else is sacrificing. Here, these guys wearing these showy clothes that use a lot of cloth. Right? Everyone's skimping on everything. That turned into a fight, and that turned into a riot. Well, that's why you guys should do it yourselves, because if you're sitting there trying to go off this, it's not really good. What did the Atlantic Charter do? The Atlantic Charter said Great Britain and U.S. This is right before kind of before Pearl Harbor. I think it's the summer of '41. We're going to stand with England, so we're essentially in the war, but we're not fighting. It's funny. So, John, your answer to the Zoot Suit riots got flagged. They do flag stuff here. When was the Lend-Lease Act passed? 41. I want to say early 41. Yeah, good answer, Zoe, about the Zoot Suits. I think I answered the Land Charter, Josiah. Hopefully it's good. The New Deal coalition is the people that support the New Deal now. Who supports the Democratic Party? Yara's question, Korematsu versus the U.S., that's where they tested Japanese American internment. Back then, the court said that was okay. But later they found out, like, the military officials that convinced Roosevelt to do it I think they'd lied or withheld some information. I mean, there was no acts of sabotage on the West Coast. Nice job, Allie. Yeah, you guys could set this up yourselves and just answer it yourselves. I'm just a conduit. Okay. We had someone answer Heitu's question about the arsenal of democracy. We already had that. It's on all the New Deal things. It provides relief, reform, recovery, or relief, recovery, reform. And so, I mean, you should understand all those. Remember that I think it was Monday where we try to slot those programs. So that's their purpose, quote unquote. Yeah, so that's part of the debate about dropping the bomb. I don't have a good answer for you. No, I bet you Heitu rolled in late. Was the CWA segregated? Probably. Yeah, you guys. And then the hard part is Southern. There's part of the Democratic Party is Southerners. Remember, all the way back to Civil War, it was Democrats that were part of the South. There's just racist Democrats all the way up to, I think, hell, probably like 2000 when they start switching over to the Republican Party, the Southern Dems, and that's not completed until like 2000s. I think now there's not a single Democratic national leader, so nobody in Congress. No Democrats from the South are in Congress. Reform is so it doesn't happen again. That's how you should think about it. Recovery is to help think economic recovery. Okay. How so? You don't necessarily need to know reform, recovery, or relief for this test. It might be useful for like SAQ on the actual AP exam. So I mean, this kind of wanted to plant. I know I didn't stress that in the beginning. Just wanted to plant that seed. So for the for the AP exam, it might be useful for the DBQ or SAQ. 8802 desegregated the defense planes. Yeah, we talked about it. I don't think I gave you the. Hey, young milk chocolate. Who are you? This is how you get the boot, man. You're supposed to use your real name. Yeah, it's the Fair Employment Practices Commission. It's created after that. So remember, that's in reaction to A. Philip Randolph's planned. Yeah, next time use your real name, dude. Too many goofs. I don't know if Grisham, I just saw your question. The New Deal coalition lead to the Dixiecrat Party. It's just the general drifting away. So, I mean, they still need the Southern Democrats to win. They were angry at Truman's civil rights plank. No, court packing did not work. Okay, sorry, trying to keep up here. Yeah, the bonus army, they got chased away by the military. It was just a terrible look. So the depths of suffering and maybe the indifference of Hoover, I think, all shown in the bonus army. So they're promised a bonus, they're due a bonus. They just wanted it earlier. And they go there and they get chased away by tanks. I'm not sure. You might just get the boot. Good question. You want me to try it on you, Thomas? Yeah, the court. He was able to replace some of the folks from court, and then they stopped striking down his program. So okay, I don't know what you mean by what parts of the war should you know. Um, like if you're talking about the actual fighting part, I think anything on terms is fair game. How about that? Mystery. The At that moment, it allowed the internment camps to go on. Okay. Later, I forget what there's a legal term for it. So it was like vacated. So they can never use Korematsu as a precedent for future rulings. Okay, let's see. Yeah, man, who disliked this video? Wait till we find out who you are. Okay, come on. What else? Pharaoh. I don't think it was Pharaoh a term. That was like direct assistance. I know we didn't. I didn't stress that much this year. It's Federal Emergency Relief Administration. That was more like direct assistance. This year, I think everything was covered this time. Yeah. Battle Midway is the turning point in the Pacific. Okay, someone interference question about the Kellogg-Briand Pact. Yeah, what do they do instead of fighting in a war? Yeah. And if you guys haven't figured out, so you need to know, I mean, the brief explanation that I'm giving or other folks are giving, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg there. You should know more and be able to connect that to other things, right? So this is just supposed to kind of remind you. Bran cereal, not brain cereal. It's disgusting. How did things change for women during the war or during Great Depression? I mean, there's a. Oh, that's funny, Ishan. From the guy who didn't start on the right section. Oh, what about that? Okay. Yeah. So well, women. Yeah. So women worked obviously. Rosie the Riveter. You guys, they did join the auxiliary. So in the military. So the waves were the Navy, WACS, Women Auxiliary Air Force Corps. But so they did. They weren't actually in the military, but they did help. Um. So the so that's the way. I mean, women contributed to the war effort. Then I mean, getting married and having babies, I wouldn't say is like just a woman thing, obviously, but that's part of the social demographics that changed. Yeah, during the New Deal, women didn't get anything. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up here. No, Stalingrad technically, I think, is the turning point in Europe. Yeah, it's all people remember. It's like leaving babies in the car. Okay, I'm not sure what you guys feel sneaky about. Um, yeah, the Z. Yes, we are, sir. You make me call you out like that. Okay. All you war guys, and it does seem to be mostly guys, you should take military history before you leave. Yep, Hitler's big mistake. Going into Russia or Soviet Union without his snow pants. Big mistake. Snow pants? Yeah, didn't you wear them when you were a kid? Maybe Cameron. I don't. I just historians call it the Non-Aggression Pact. I don't know the specific name. I do. I teach civics. Recession. People moved out west. So people moved out west. Some started moving south. In contrast to, yeah, I did look it up. One of you guys mentioned like the migration. More blacks moved up during World War II than they did World War One. Fair enough. Easy there. Yeah, I think most kids wear snow pants at some point. Yeah, I didn't say military history was hard. I mean, if you like the war stuff, that's where you talk about it. Yeah, we could. I mean, we probably would have gotten into war anyways. So, okay, now you guys are asking, and answering your own questions. Um, oh, okay. Tom's too, well. Tom's only put you in timeout and then boot you. Okay. Any other questions? You guys just badgering each other now. Yeah, it's funny. I appreciate you guys all hopping on, but yeah, that's a good question. Someone share the answers. Check their poultry. Examples of patriotism in World War II. People buying the war bonds. Rosie the Riveter. Women doing their part. Oh, but shush, don't you? I don't know what 8 by 11 you read. The family structure? Remember, what's the role of the dad? Dad's supposed to bring home the dough, right? Bring home the bacon, bring home the cheese. And when he's not doing that, then the wife doesn't know if she loves him anymore. Yes, kid sassing back like, "Don't forget who brings home the money." Yeah, Blue Eagle, Chicken, same thing. Yeah, patriotic movies, and so part of it is remember. So what was our? It's a love-hate relationship. What was our feelings towards Russia after World War One? No, our feelings towards Russia after World War One. No, I can't draw on this. That's one. No, cold. I know. I'm not asking how it was there for a vacation spot. We hated them, right? Fear of communism, Red Scare. Um, then because we're allies now, what do you think the movies are showing during World War Two? No, they're our allies now. So at the beginning, you guys, the movies always reflect the realities or the mood at the time, and so yeah, they're our allies. They're good. They're good Russians, hardworking, you know, tough guys. And then because our relationship is deteriorating at the end of World War II, what do you think happens? Russia's bad again. So yeah, I last thing I see. Okay, thank you, Megan. The last thing I see is Josiah's comment. That's bad. Okay. It's funny, Jack. They flag your comment, dirty commies. Okay, yeah, and so it really is like I don't know. Once you take a step back and look at the history of movies, so during the Cold War, it's always the evil Russians, and then the Cold War is over, and then after 9/11, then it becomes like Middle Eastern terrorists. And now I don't know who the bad guys are now. Technology. So I have no how to do that. So oh, North Korea, yeah, China, fair enough. I don't know how to make it 2 times. There's a chance that they get ended by accident. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I don't know how to make. I'll keep that in mind. Nobody ever mentioned that before. Yeah, I was gonna say the wrong button. It's like, oops, see you guys later. They didn't. Well, no, I take that back. No, Long and Cochlin, probably not. I mean, he just plants those ideas. So I think I mean, that's part of how it works. You plant the seed now, and maybe 30 years from now, somebody will make that a reality. I don't think so. Zoe, your comment, pretty sure it's all in there. Social Union Party, I think it was called, Grisham, right? Megan's question: the destroyer bases deal. That's where we're trying to help. We're trying to help England, Great Britain, trying to help Great Britain without look like we're helping them because again, the American public at that point is not interested in getting involved. So we trade 50 old ships because we don't need them for naval bases. Ishan, there's no like one important thing. New Deal in World War II. Okay, see you, Josiah. No, Mariella, the Atlantic Charter. I mean, pretty much sets up that we're going to side with Great Britain. So it's more probably at that point a matter of when, not if. Ishan, all that depends on what you know. So when kids ask, like, is this test hard? It's always like, well, depends on what you know. Oh yeah, a couple of those musics in the got flagged by YouTube for having that music's like copyright violation. Thanks. Appreciate you. Don't forget to buy the merch, right? African Americans besides the jobs, remember the Double V campaign, right? Kind of inspires them to fight for equality. Right? They're treated as equals in Europe. And that's the thing. So there's not, the French don't say, "Oh, you guys have to use this bathroom." It's like they're treated as equals, and they come back to segregation. Yeah, double B. Thanks, Zoe. No, can't get 10 points for extra credit buying that, because then you're just buying the extra credit at that point. That'd be unethical. My birthday is like the whole last 6 months of the year. Okay. Good. Keep on typing in the chat. I'm gonna switch. Let me see. I know there's SAQs in the back. Let me see if there's a decent one I can find. Since you guys seem to be kind of running out of questions. No, the swivel camera already got sent back. Yeah, we'll all be in person. Oh, hey, one thing I didn't stress at the end of the war. So what's our position at the end of the war? Somebody answers Thomas's question about the Indian Reorganization Act. Now, what is our good question, Megan? What's our status? That's what I mean. Yeah, we're a global superpower. You guys, we didn't have. We lost 332,000 men, I think it was, which actually is less than COVID. It's kind of scary. So, but we're at the top of the world. Like, we're unfazed industrially. Okay. And so we are at the top of the world. And unlike World War I, after World War I, where we kind of turned down world leadership, we embrace it this time. Mystery's question: the World War II and Native Americans. This is the code talker part. I mean, it's an important part. Peak American, nice. Yeah, we can try to practice this part of an SAQ. I'll type it in the chat. We weren't in the war yet, Mariella. Okay, this is part A. Yeah, I mean it's like this is Atlantic Charter at that point. We're unofficially in, even though no one's declared war yet. So we haven't declared war. Germany hasn't declared war. Are you guys typing the answer? Okay. So yeah, so again, just a friendly reminder. So they didn't want to get involved. Give an example. Okay, so some of you guys mentioned neutrality acts. Someone mentioned good neighbor policy. I'm getting busy trying to follow the chat. So yes, you have to give an example. Okay. What's that? Second part B. Yeah, oh, sorry, that's good. They're disillusioned by World War One, but let's see, that is prior to the isolationists, or a reason for the isolationism more so. Okay, part B. Part B of the YouTube Live SAQ in real time. I just typed it, right? Okay. It's not good neighbor, and it's not good. It's not the good neighbor policy, you guys. The shift. So again, they all relate. So part A is like, what are we? We're isolationists, for lack of a more specific term. Like we don't want to get involved. But there's a shift that happens. Example of the shift. Lend lease is an example of the shift. No, Daws is us still trying to stay out. Good neighbor is us trying to stay out. Neutrality acts is us trying to stay out. Evidence of the shift. Destroy bases deal. Yes. Yes, the destroy bases deal was Roosevelt's way of trying to help, even though the American people didn't want. Thank you, Megan. Can you guys say no? Appeasement wasn't even us. It was Britain and France. Can anything else besides lend lease and destroy our bases? You can't say entering the war. That's Atlantic Charter. Thank you. Did we? I think I mentioned it just briefly. Like the first peacetime draft. Cash and carry is us trying to stay out. Neutrality acts are all. I think it's still part of us trying to stay out. Undeclared naval war with Germany. Good. Would you say quarantine speech is evidence of isolationism or evidence of us getting closer to joining the war? Da, 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 da. One more time. Quarantine speech, is that evidence of us trying to remain isolationist, or is that evidence of us edging closer to the war? Good. So yeah, it depends on the people's reaction to it. It's isolation. From Roosevelt's intent on giving the speech, purpose in giving the speech, it's us trying to switch into the war. Good. It can be both. You got to explain why. Quick side note: what group opposed? What group supported isolationism? Opposed entering the war? FDR is related. No, American Liberty League hated Roosevelt and the New Deal. Henry Cabot Lodge, I think he's dead. No, who opposed us entering the war? I think even the socialists said, no, you're thinking of World War One. Remember the war hero, or not the war hero, the national hero, the Kanye West of the 1930s? Bingo. Sanjana wins first prize. American First Committee. Committee, not commie, right? Who's the guy that led it? The airplane guy. Charles the airplane guy. Try putting that in your SAQ or DBQ and see if that works. They give you the point. It's like Charles the airplane guy. Yeah, the guy that flew across the Atlantic solo. Lindbergh. I think Elijah has it right. I think it's Bergh. The plane guy. Yes, America First Committee. Yeah, part C of the SAQ might have been like, give me a second piece of evidence for A or B. So, plane dude might be too big. Charles the plane guy might work. So he's the guy that had his baby kidnapped. Somebody put a ladder up and took his baby out of the second floor window. So, which is my favorite New Deal program? Not sure if I have a favorite New Deal program. Not sure. Yeah, I'm not a big guy into favorites. Like I like a lot of stuff. No, I think the baby was found dead. I'm not sure it's like Rapunzel. Okay, any other questions from the unit? My favorite New Deal analogy? I don't know. They're all good. I'm really sad. That's one of the things we can't do well on Zoom. See, that's what we've been missing. I don't think it's reverse Rapunzel. That's an interesting way to think about it, though. No, it's I mean, yeah, I guess if you want to think about it that way. No, I think what's the Braceros program? Yeah, it's pretty funny, Elijah. Braceros. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening in the chat at this moment. Thank you, Megan. Okay. One piece of evidence why people thought Roosevelt was becoming a dictator. What are you guys talking about now in the chat? Oh, Cars, like the Pixar movie? Yeah, I'll have to remember to set this on like double speed. You guys know anyone that's watching this some other time is like, what was going on? Court packing is one reason people thought Roosevelt was becoming a dictator. What else? Anything else besides court packing? No, I don't. Roosevelt wasn't at the Munich conference. Good. It's the expansion of executive power. All those New Deal programs. Again, so that is. I mean, here's the problem, and I think people that are anti-big government they will point this out, and it's probably true. Okay, stay focused here with the cats. Once government power expands, in particular executive power, they don't tend to give it up, right? So you think about what Jackson did, like expanding the veto. Like no future president's can like, I'm not doing that. And so the overall expansion of government power, then you can just cite the programs. Sanjana's question: the NRA was not interstate commerce. Well, it affected every company. I mean, it affected companies, but it didn't distinguish between interstate commerce and not. Yeah, that's. I mean, you talk about creating jobs for men and paying farmers not to grow crops and setting business codes. That's. I mean, You're well on your way to dictatorship. It is. Or government control. Maybe not. Dictatorship. No, it was, Zoe. And that's actually, I mean, historians have said maybe Roosevelt probably saved capitalism by doing that. Right? That would have been a perfect moment to junk capitalism and say, well, that's broken. Let's try something else. But he did enough to save capitalism. So reforms around the edges provided enough relief so people still had faith. But some other presidents might have dropped the ball on that one. Federal relief is power. I mean, you guys are about to pass a $1.9 trillion stimulus bill, pandemic relief bill, whatever you want to call it. That is power. Money is power when it comes to government. So they can spend $2 trillion giving people money. Yeah, they do. And if you're really skeptical, Zoe, they say it's like capitalism. They give you the pants, but not the belt to hold it up. Okay. Yeah, his reforms were so it's not either or. So remember, it's like government decides or like buyers and sellers decide. We move closer to government deciding, and so that's kind of like the quote I shared with the 8x11. If the government's there to do what the people cannot do or cannot do well for themselves, that's the role of government. There's no way you can work your way out individually out of a depression, right? That's a systematic problem. Okay. Yeah, but Ishan, so here's the problem with that argument. How many pages does a regular bill have? Because they said that about Obamacare and things like that. Without any context, does a regular bill have 2,000 pages or 4,000 pages or 10,000 pages? Yeah, I don't think compared to the Constitution, it's a good reference. No. PWA. Who's asked the PWA question? There is actually PWA. I didn't go over it just because that is usually one of the confusing things for kids. PWA is like CWA. It's public works. Yeah. So that's why it's writers, painters, actors. Yeah, Sean, but that's what I'm saying. Next time you hear that, I don't know, Google how long is a typical bill? How many pages is a typical bill? It's not like 3 pages. They're all really long. Yeah, they had some senator requested they read the entire bill, and they did that, I think. You calling him Frankie? Yeah, you could. I think that's an easy comparison. So using the radio and Trump used Twitter. No need to apologize. Okay, who's Big Chungus there? Yeah, WPA is writers, painters, actors. PWA, I don't think, was that a term? Because I purposely left it off. It's a public works program. Okay. Yeah, there is a PWA, but I purposely not talked about it. Okay, we got a few more minutes here, kids. Anything else you want to ask about? No, there's no public housing. Public housing doesn't come till Great Society, 1960s. Yeah, I don't take it personal if you like or dislike, or if you dislike it, it's okay. You get older, you have a thicker skin. Yeah, but Allie has a chat's true, and I think on top of that, it's the problem is like as a bill, you have to try to account for all the different things, right? And so if you're giving stimulus money to households, I think 100,000 and under, or 150,000 under, but as you close to 150,000, do you have to get less, and what percentage less? and things like that. So, yeah, extra credit was like Brigadoon, man. Came and went. Nobody knows if it actually existed. Okay. Hey, one more week of this nonsense, and then we'll all be back together again. That'll be interesting. Hey, to answer your own question, significance of Social Security? Everybody should want to take old people. Remember, our old people, take a push. Remember, tell your ninth grade friends there, take a push. What people, though, Sanjana? Social Security is directed towards, remember, it's all, just about every program is for a group. Yeah, thank you. Yep. So you guys be specific. Don't say it was just, a program for who. No, old people, it's all relative. There's some first grader looking at you guys like, man, I don't want to be like him when I grow up. Oh, old people's now code for a push. Yeah, tell those kids to sign up. They can hang out with the old people. Sign up to be with the old people. 65 is supposed to be the new like 40 though, and 85 is the new 65. Oh, ask your parents. I bet you people are healthier now, living longer, better diets, better healthcare. Good. You should be proud of impressing first graders. Yeah, maybe not 85 might not be the new 65. No, but here's something for you guys to look forward to. Usually I give you doom and gloom stuff. They say retirement is like your second adolescence, except for this time you have more experience and knowledge and you have money. So you have time and now you got money and now you got some experience. So you do some things. So thanks, Zoe. Um, no, they should. I mean, other countries, ninth graders can do calculus. People always think you're born that way. Yeah, I wish we had the debates, had a chance to debate more, but we will. Bad knees, it's okay. You can take care of your bad knees. No, core was for desegregating. Kamal's question. Core was desegregating, trying to desegregate like restaurants around. I mean, they're a precursor to the civil rights movement, and they will actually be part of the civil rights movement too. But to desegregate what they're experiencing back at home. No, Dixie Rec got put in timeout again, or got put in timeout. Yeah, see, that's why I don't want to. The one downside of doing this is that there's no waiting room, so you get nonsense like that stuff. Yep. And so in places where African Americans are, thank you, Sujana, where they experience discrimination, um, they fought for to desegregate. No, that's like my first time I did that. Some goofball said that, like, oh, it's my cousin's birthday or something stupid like that. It's like playing a joke on your on your uncle. Okay, I think we're about done here, you guys. So thanks for joining. Um, good luck. Yeah, and everybody got the email. So everyone's taking the test tomorrow, whether you're a room or Zoom. So everyone's taking the test tomorrow. If you're in first through third. So your question is because it would distract from the war effort. So the more time you spend sending bombers to bomb the concentration camps or even the railways, that delays their war efforts. And the Germans can rebuild and I think they were actually pretty good at rebuilding the railroads pretty quickly. Yeah, Fourth Army is still going to take it tomorrow. So, okay, you guys have a great night. So get some sleep.